Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. The Crypto Crow is here. Lots of updates, a lot of stuff going on. And just so everybody knows, I'm going to show you guys a little bit more about some of the things that I do to find, undervalued altcoins or ultimately coins that I expect to go up relatively soon. There are several different tips and tricks that I can deliver. But so first, I'm going to go through some updates. It has been an absolute crazy week for me. Between, just the overall growth of the channel and everything that comes with that, it's just been nuts. For those of you who, okay, so let me just start here. So I have completely ceased all wallet management, new applications because I cannot handle the load. Not right now. I need to get completely caught up with everything that has already come in, everybody I've already approved, everybody that's already submitted applications and agreements, Ethereum deposits, all of that. So let me get through all that. It's funny because telling people no, I don't know what it is with you guys, but it just, you start auctioning against yourself. Like, it's really not about your budget, just so you understand. It really isn't. I mean, obviously somebody comes at me with, 7 figures and they're like, hey man, I want you to, work with this, and they understand how it works, and they understand the pros and cons and all that other stuff that I explained to everybody. Yeah, maybe I might just flip you a link to the agreement and get you started. But, to be real honest with you, it's really about the workload. I am one man and it's just been blowing up. I just had a phone call today with a couple, I guess they were billionaires and some millionaires talking to me about my track record. And, it was funny because, the guy that actually set up this conference call, he knows like what I've done because he's good friends with a couple of my clients already. And so, the one guy, he was like, we'd really love to see your track record if you're okay with showing that. And he's like, and don't worry, we're very well aware of the ups and downs, so don't feel like you have to delete any of the losses. And I just kind of laughed and said, I don't have any losses. Like, if I pulled up my last 15 ICO buys or my last 15 exchange buys, they're all up. Like, they were asking me, like, what makes you so good at this? Why, because they have friends who, they run big funds and like crypto bonds. I don't know what the hell they're all talking about. And they're like, they don't have track records like this. What makes you so special? And I just flat out said, I have no clue. I have my own way of doing things. And they were asking me, how do you research 100, ICOs a month? And I'm like, I don't. Ultimately, as far as ICOs, I basically wait for the cream to rise to the top, and when it gets to the point where it's readily in front of my face without having to do a lot of digging for it, chances are it's probably going to be decent. So at that point, I have to decide what's a scam, what's a sham, what's good, what's the tech like. That's when I really start diving deep. So, if there are 100 ICOs a month, I probably research and dive deep into maybe 20 of them. And then I decide from there what are the 3 or 4 that I'm probably going to go into. So that's kind of how a lot of that stuff works. But anyway, the conference call I had today was ridiculous. I have officially, I want to tell you guys, so because I've just ceased everything, and there's been no end in sight in terms of the phone calls, and I'm sorry, like I said, guys, I really just don't answer my phone right now. There's too many of you. I know that everybody wants to talk to me on the phone, whether it's to feel secure about what's happening or I just don't have time. I'm sorry. I hope all of you watch this video so you kind of understand what I'm dealing with. But it's the weekend, and come tomorrow, because I've got a full-time job, I'm going to be even less available. Like, I've literally worked all through this weekend, going through emails, responding to everybody. I just imported everything into another email account because for whatever reason, some of the emails that I'm sending you guys are bouncing back to me. I think it might have been a server issue, so I'm taking other means. So if I respond to you something that I've already responded to you, I'm sorry. It's just double checking everything, make sure everything's okay and everybody understands what's going on. So that being said, what I've done is, honestly, look, I would love to be able to do all this full time, but all of the big investments I'm making right now, all of the new clients that I'm bringing on, everything that I'm doing, I'm really not even going to see likely a dime of it for a year. So, if I tell everybody, crow your coins, I'm crowing my coins. And, there we go. You're looking at it, crow your coins. But that the whole idea of that is you buy, you hold for a year, and you lower your cap gains tax. That's what it's all about. And so if that holds true for everybody that I'm working with in wallet management, I'm not going to see a dime of any of this stuff. Will I be a millionaire next year by this time? Absolutely. I'm sure I will be. But in the meantime, I still have to make a living. And so I'm looking for ways to maintain my brand and what all of you are expecting from me, while being able to monetize things enough that I can afford to do this and put all my time into it day and night. Honestly, I need an assistant. I need somebody to help organize just all the different channels of communication that are just constantly being flooded with questions and all that. So what I did was I started a Patreon. And so I only told my Telegram group about this last night. There's 51 of you. But right now, I am not taking on any new clients until I get everything sorted, everybody situated and fully invested in this first round. The people in my Patreon group are basically going to be the first people I let know, hey, I'm reopening applications if you want help. So if you are, please don't blow me up with emails, because I just cannot respond to all of them. I'm getting so many random questions. However, that is ultimately what the Patreon group is for me. I'm not selling you financial advice. All my disclaimers, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm not going to tell you, well, if you have $1,000, you should buy this, and that. I'm not doing any of that in this group. It'll just get shut down and I could get in trouble. I'm not selling you financial advice. What I am doing is basically by becoming a member of my Patreon, you're going to have access to me. If you ask a question, I will answer it. And I'm just paying priority to this because I have so much. I'm so overloaded that I can't get through it all. So, it's like, look, if you're serious about what you're trying to do, if you're serious about what you're trying to do and you really want my help, and you want me to be able to answer questions and be timely about it, Patreon is going to be the best way for you to go about it. Now, I am going and I'm posting things that I'm up to and things that I'm doing, coins that I'm looking at. I'm going to be probably putting up guides on specifically how to buy certain tokens and where and so forth. There's going to be a lot of value. My cryptocurrency course, I just put a coupon code in there, so everybody that's in my Patreon gets it free. And there's going to be more. I'm going to be incentivizing things in the sense that I'm going to provide value. But it's really, as crazy as it is to say, it's really just to get my attention and get my help and honestly be the first to know when I reopen applications. It's really just to try and help me on multiple levels. My goal is 500 patrons. If I get to 500 patrons, then I can do everything that I want to do in terms of all the research, putting in all the time. And then at some point soon, I'd like to be able to hire some kind of assistant to help can like sort through all the emails, Facebook messages, my text messages, all the phone call voicemails. I don't even know how many voicemails I have right now, but I'm likely, this is, can you see this? Hold on. Just, I think I got to do it away from the camera. I don't know if you can see it, but basically, like, my voicemail box is full with unlistened to voicemails because I can't get to them all. All right? So just please have a little sympathy on me. I'm just one man. And one other big announcement that I'm going to make, I have accepted a advisory role. Now, I'm not going to say anything about it just yet. And I don't. So basically, one of my big things that I was planning on doing is launching some kind of fund to where, I have a cryptocurrency, people can purchase that currency. I use those funds to invest in ICOs, and then I pay dividends on the profits and the return that I make from those coins. I still would love to do that. But there's a company that's already kind of doing that, but they're doing it in a different kind of way. And originally they reached out to me wanting a review, and I just talked to the CEO, like the founder today, and they've been working on this for a year now. and they just got like $13 million. 8.8 of it was in private capital, a private sale of some kind, and then they got 3.3 or 3.5 million in a pre-sale. And they've just been doing really well. And I was reading through the white paper, and I'm like reading through everything, and I'm looking at the team, and I'm like, man, I am so. And just so you understand, I've had 2 other companies offer me 15 grand cash and 20 grand to just review their ICOs, and I basically said I wasn't interested. I've been getting a lot more inquiries about whether or not I would do a review on different companies. And, I really don't care what you're trying to pay me. Like, I know a lot of you guys are watching this. The integrity that I have for what I'm trying to accomplish with this brand and this channel means I'm not going to plug shit. I mean, I can look at an ICO and review it, and I'm happy to provide the exposure. But I'm still going to tell everybody whether or not I would buy it. And if I won't, I won't. It's just all there is to it. So I'm willing to do that. But, if somebody's wanting to pay me, like, I'm not going to McAfee all these coins. Like, I'm not just like, oh, yeah, give me money and I'll tell the world about it. And like, oh, yeah, I don't know. There's something about that rubs me wrong. I feel like there's a responsibility that comes with having a viewership like this. And I don't want to abuse it by just shilling shit coins for a quick paycheck, because I feel like when you do that, it's very likely, A, you're not going to last very long, and B, if I shield a bunch of shit coins and people are pumping money into something that, I'm telling them is good, and then it goes south for whatever reason, well, I feel I'm like kind of responsible for that, and I don't want to be in that situation. All your high yield programs and it's all garbage to me. So don't even bother messaging me. And I mean that. You can offer me $100,000. I'm not doing it. Okay. So now that that's out of the way, the group that I'm actually working with, or going to start working with, is ultimately you basically buy their coin and they use those resources to invest in ICOs, right? But they're ICOs that have approached them wanting help, and they want to be kind of like accredited, if you will. Basically, the company that I'm going to be working with, they go through everything. They do all the due diligence. They go through the team. They go through the white paper if they have one. They go through like basically everything that the company has to offer, and they decide whether or not it's an ICO worth investing in and helping support to the public. Okay, and it's great. You cracked a large version of Dan Hardy. I don't know what that is, but anyway, sorry, that was just a message. I've got all these comments popping up from videos. So anyway, I talked to the CEO, great guy. I mean, he's very level-headed, but very, very intelligent. He very much knows what he wants to do. And, so it started as a review opportunity that I was willing to do, ultimately turned into me becoming an advisor. And so my relationship with this company is going to continue to grow. I'm going to make some official announcements here in a couple days, but I think you guys are going to dig it. And to be honest, a part of why I'm doing this is because it's something that I think a lot of you, especially newcomers to the space, are going to benefit from, because you're going to be able to basically buy this coin, and they're going to be helping make a lot of decisions. And to be honest, they kind of want me. So like he told me that right now they have over 100 applications of ICOs in different companies that want to get involved with them. And they basically want to open their books and open everything and say, look, are we worth it? Will you put your seal of approval on us? And so out of those, they're likely to support maybe 3 to 5 of them, which is exactly pretty much what my ratio is per month, because there's about 100 ICOs that come out a month, and I typically only go into 3 to 5 of those. So when he told me that, I'm like, good, we're on the same page there in terms of, just how much of the ICOs that are coming out are actually worth the money. In my opinion and in his. So we agreed on that. And so what they want to be able to do is they want to be able to give me like their top 10, top 20 ICOs for each month, or the top, 3 or 5 that they've kind of narrowed down each week, and have me go through them, kind of do what I do in my research, reading through everything, kind of figuring out what's the pulse like in the market, and basically give them an idea and to say, yeah, I would support this one, I would not support that one. So I'm pumped about this, and I do think it's going to help you guys, and I'll feel a lot better about it if I do have a say in these ICOs that they're looking to potentially work with and help support. So given that they're interested in that and they're very open to me playing that role, I'm all about it. So when I go into more detail, I'll break down the ICO and everything. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know up front right now, like I'm going to be an advisor. I'm an advisor for this ICO. And I told the CEO flat out, like, look, it's either me work with you or me do this myself here in 3 to 6 months. So, there's no point in me reinventing the wheel when they've already spent a year on it and they've already, established the foundation for it. The platform's already done. I mean, the ICO for this is going to start in February. So if any of the clues that I've given so far help you figure out who it is, that's fine. You're welcome to post it in the comments. But I'm pretty pumped about this. So we are at 15 minutes. Man, I really am a jabberjaw. So basically, I just wanted to give you guys the updates on everything going on. Join my Patreon. I'm going to be getting more and more. Ultimately, I want to funnel all the Facebook messages, phone calls, Twitter, everything that's going on, blowing me up. I want to funnel it all into Patreon. So, if somebody's really needing me for something, you have questions, that you want to learn some different things, I'm basically going to be loading my Patreon account up with a lot of cool stuff. So in the meantime, if you're like, you know what, it's cool, I'm going to go it alone, Jay, and I want to find my own coins. Basically, people are talking about the fight video. It's funny. It was so bad. I probably shouldn't have posted that, but somebody seemed to get a kick out of it. So here's what I do, and I'll try to make this quick and keep this under 4 minutes since I just yammered so long. Basically, one of the things that I do when I'm looking at altcoins and I'm trying to decide, okay, is this worth buying now? Cardano is a perfect example because, it's ultimately exactly what I did with Cardano. So I looked at the price and I thought, it's at 33 cents and I was kind of looking at the history. How high has it been? What's it doing? And then I went and I looked at the website. And when I saw the website, I basically established that this is a very legitimate company. They have a great website. It's very well thought out. It looks like, their team is fantastic. And Cardano was easy. Okay. Let's face it. Cardano was an easy pick. But like right now, so if I were somebody that just came to the space and I'm looking at this and I'm like, Cardano, what's that? So I'm going to look at this coin and I know a lot of people, they look at total supply and circulating supply. That's obviously a factor, but it's really not the main thing that I look at. What I care most about is if I put money into it today, what's my potential for return in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year? Okay, that's how I look at things. So when I look at this and I look at where Cardano was just even at the beginning of the month, so, early December 2nd, you're looking at 13 cents. And then I see, it goes up. And then I look here and, it goes up again. And it's almost going up like a flight of stairs, right? That is great to me because it's not going up and then dipping really low and then going up like 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. It's going up 5 steps, taking a step back, going up 5 more steps. That is a good sign. Now here we see that it went down quite a bit, right? So it was at a high of, looks like about it was about $1.30, and then it went down. Well, why did that happen? Well, I know that happened because Bitcoin started spiking up again. And anytime Bitcoin spikes up, what happens? Let's take a dump. But it's going to go back up here soon. So from here, once I've looked at this and I'm thinking, man, that looks really good, actually. I know that this only went down because Bitcoin just spiked. And when Bitcoin, kind of stabilizes itself, this is probably going to start climbing back up. But what other things are there going on with the coin that are likely to push it back up in value? And that's when I'll go to the website and then I start looking for roadmaps. I've found that ICOs or coins that have an established presence, but they keep their roadmap. Some ICOs, they have their roadmap out until their ICO is over, and then you can't even find the roadmap anymore. And I feel like that confuses people because they might post updates on their Twitter and whatnot, but if I can't find your roadmap right on your website, I've got concerns. I want to know, is that an avoidance of being held accountable for those, or what? What's going on there? So, and I basically look at the roadmap, and I just went through a lot of this in another video, so I don't need to do it here, but you guys get the idea. So, if the roadmap looks to be something that has a very kind of defined term At which point, I know, well, within the next 2 months or the next 3 months, it's likely going to hit this milestone. I know there's going to be a big pump in that. So if I'm even and what happens is a lot of altcoin investors, they know that too, especially if they've been in the space a while. So if you set up a Google Calendar and you basically put in there all of I think I say basically as much as Superman says essentially. I didn't realize why, but now I get it. But if I put together like a Google Calendar and I mark down, and this is a part of what Moonrunner is going to help everybody do when we get that launched. You're going to be able to plug in, well, this date, is going to be this milestone for this coin, and this date will be this milestone. And basically you could put in all the different roadmap dates and milestone dates so that hey, there's going to be a pump. And you set reminders, maybe a week or 2 weeks even before some of these milestones are expected to hit, because it's going to be typically press comes out about 2 weeks before stuff happens, sometimes the day of. But if you give yourself a 2-week window, if you're looking at a coin price and well, it's the 7th, that milestone, whatever the milestone is, whether it's this month or next week, you can get an idea. If I buy now, it's probably going to go up quite a bit. And that's how I base, whether or not I think something is a good buy. And again, for those who are looking at coins, we're at 20 minutes, so I'll wrap it up here in a second. But for those of you who are looking for coins that you want to invest long term, that's a great way of doing it. Or let's say you missed the boat on something and you know that there was a big pump. Do some research. Go to the website. Do some Googling, find out what the most recent news was and when it came out, and then kind of say, all right, well, news came out about this coin on the 3rd. It's now the 7th, and I'm starting to see it dip down a little bit. The excitement's over, right? So, it got the pump, and now it's starting to dip. And then find that little happy place where you use like those the EMA indicators I show in another video, and kind of figure out when's the volume starting to die down and when are things going to start going sideways, and that's when you can buy safely on the dip, rather than it going, you don't want to follow the trail down. You don't want to buy it high and follow the trail down. So hopefully that makes sense. But that's basically, those are some of the key things actually that I do when I'm looking at Dent, Cardano, Tron, any of these coins. I look at their roadmap and I find out, how much more do they have before, they've met a lot of what they've promised. And if I feel like there's a lot more coming and the price is cheap, I know it's a good buy to get into, because every time those milestones are hit, it's going to go up in value more and more as more people adopt it, as more people's confidence go into the coin, and that's it. So I think I covered pretty much everything for right now. I got to go back to finishing going through these emails. I just wanted to get something to you guys tonight. Once I get through this first run and I get everybody invested, of course I'm going to be updating the Patreon quite a bit. But as soon as I get everybody invested, I've got a special kind of thing that I want to do. I really want to do some big stuff on Cardano here coming up. I'm definitely going to be doing a video here on Profit Trailer, setting that up step by step. By the way, sold over 1,000 copies of the Profit Feeder license, and the feedback that I've been seeing is very good. We've had some hiccups here and there, but the feedback on Profit Feeder has been ridiculous. And because everybody's loving Profit Feeder, people are buying, I'm selling a lot more copies of Profit Trailer. So one is helping the other. So yeah, I mean, that's great. And all the bags that I had 11 really, really hefty big bags. I think I have 4 left right now. I'm just leaving it in sell-only mode. I like a clean slate when I start things back up again, and I want to make sure that Bitcoin's not going to be jumping all over the place before I kick it back up. I've been so busy. I've been too busy to care. But anyway, thank you guys for all of your support. Hopefully I'll see you in Patreon, and yeah, I'll leave it at that for right now. Grow your coins, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.